Hey everybody, how's it going? Aaron Rift here from NoDQ.com to give you my thoughts on the NXT Takeover Dallas special, which aired on the WWE Network. I will also be discussing some of the late breaking news regarding WrestleMania 13, but first, let's cover NXT Takeover. I thought it was an incredible show. No surprise there. I think we all expected this to be an awesome show, and it was. There were 5 matches. The one weak link going in, the Apollo Crews match, was not even on this show. So you had 5 really strong matches and just great wrestling from start to finish. The show opened up with a tag team match for the NXT tag team titles. The Revival defending against the American Alpha. Old school tag team match in the beginning, and then you had the American Alpha doing all their cool stuff with the dueling Germans. And the match was really solid from start to finish. There was one part where they botched something significant and you had the crowd chanting, "You fucked up," and Botchamania, which was funny. But other than that, I mean, this was really solid wrestling match here. And you had the Revival using all the heel tactics possible, going under the ring, grabbing the feet. I thought that this was well done. But in the end, you had American Alpha getting the near falls and then finally winning the match and becoming the new tag team champions. Really fun way to kick off this pay-per-view. They showed Kota Ibushi at ringside, a Japanese superstar, and we'll see if he ends up in NXT. Next up, we had Austin Aries versus Baron Corbin in Austin Aries' WWE pay-per-view debut. This was an interesting match. Not a classic or anything, but I felt that this match made Baron Corbin look strong in defeat. I expected Aries to win this match since it's Austin's first match, but I like the way that Corbin was able to dominate most of the match, and at one point he's even telling the referee to ring the bell. Aries made his comeback, did some flying moves, but then Corbin was able to hit the deep 6 on the floor. Aries barely made it in the ring by the count of 9, and then in the end, Aries was able to counter the End of Days and get the win with a roll-up. So Baron Corbin looking strong despite losing to Aries. This was well done. I mean, not a great match or anything, but I still like the story that they told here. Then you had X-Pac in the crowd with Scott Hall. That was a cool moment. I liked that they had a bunch of different people at ringside. Made it feel like a big deal. They should do this more often. Then we had Sami Zayn versus Nakamura. Sami Zayn came out. The crowd was singing along to his song, humming along to it. They knew the song by heart. I thought that that was really cool. And then Nakamura came out. His entrance actually leaked earlier in the day. There was a video somebody shot of him practicing the entrance, but it was amazing. I mean, hats off to WWE for this entrance. I mean, Nakamura just with this whole entrance, everything he did with the charisma. I mean, he came off like a major superstar in one match. I mean, this was really well done. This was well thought out by WWE when they put together his whole entrance with the theme music and everything. I love the theme song. Really good stuff here. And then the match itself, I mean, I had very high expectations going in. The atmosphere was just unbelievable. The crowd was just going nuts with all these different chants and chanting "This is awesome" before the match really got going, before they even locked up. The crowd was going nuts. This was intense as hell. I mean, really, the one word to describe this match is intense. And I cannot remember the last WWE match that really felt this intense. I mean, it was like watching an MMA fight. It was just so brutal and just something you don't normally see in WWE with 2 guys just beating the hell out of each other. This was not a technical wrestling match. This was a fight. They were trading all sorts of blows, punches, kicks, all sorts of stuff. Nakamura's nose got busted open at one point, and then he started licking his own blood. They were exchanging submissions. The crowd actually started chanting "Fight Forever." I thought that that was great. They did not want it to end, and neither did I. I actually would have liked this match to have gone a little bit longer. I mean, I'm not sure the time of this match. I think it was around 20 minutes or so. I think if they added another 5 minutes to this, it would have really cemented it as a match of the year. But even without an extra 5 minutes, I mean, this is definitely going to be a match of the year contender. I like the fact that Sami Zayn gave Nakamura a little bit taste of his own medicine with the strong style. But in the end, Nakamura did get the win, which I expected since it was his WWE debut match. Oh, and they did this near fall. They did a near fall, and the crowd literally gave it a standing ovation right after the near fall. I thought that was really cool. And after the match, they embraced, and they gave Sami Zayn a standing ovation, since this will more than likely be Sami's last NXT match as he heads to the main roster. And hats off to Sami Zayn. I mean, he just had this incredibly intense match with Nakamura, and he's got a ladder match now coming up at WrestleMania. I mean, that is really something else. So very happy to see Sami Zayn, El Generico succeeding in WWE, and Nakamura having an amazing debut. Then we had Bayley defending the women's title against Asuka, and I was really impressed with this match because they had to follow Zayn and Nakamura, and they managed to have an intense match of their own. And not only that, but they kept the crowd with them. The crowd stayed hot for this match, and this was another really good women's match. They traded lots of submissions, and in the end, Asuka got hers on, the Asuka lock, and Bayley, I guess, passed out. The referee just stopped the match. She did not tap out. Once again, having the loser look strong in defeat. I mean, that was a recurring theme with this show, and that's how you do it. You get both people over, and in a good match, you can have the loser get over by putting up a hell of a fight. And that's what we saw as a recurring theme on this show. You know, instead of trading wins like they do on Raw and SmackDown and having guys dominate other guys, you know, you have a back and forth match where both guys give it their all, and you get both people over. And then after the match, we had Bayley on the floor just selling the match and just reacting to what had just happened. I thought that this was really well done to show her reaction post-match and just how overwhelmed she was physically and emotionally at the outcome. They should definitely do that more often. And then we had the big surprise of the evening, although it really wasn't much of a surprise if you had been following NoDQ.com, because it had leaked out that Bobby Roode was in Dallas, Texas, and as it turns out, he was there to watch NXT. I posted a picture of Dixie Carter crying, which, I kid you not, got over 100 retweets in 39 seconds. I think that that's a new NoDQ.com Twitter record, and at last check it had something like 500 plus retweets. That was pretty funny, although I'm sure there's some TNA fans out there that will give me a hard time, but whatever. Then we had the main event, Finn Balor making his usual epic entrance, although it was a little strange. I mean, the problem with this was that WWE already did the chainsaw gimmick with Dean Ambrose when Terry Funk gave him the chainsaw. So if WWE had not already done that with Ambrose, I think that this would have been a little bit more impactful. Just weird that they would do this chainsaw entrance with Finn Balor right after doing the bit with Terry Funk and Dean Ambrose on Raw. So not really sure what the deal was with that, but it was still a cool entrance. Finn Balor, Samoa Joe. Yet another intense match on this show, and clearly these guys were trying to follow up Nakamura and Sami Zayn to the best of their abilities, but there was an issue here. Samoa Joe hit a headbutt on Balor at the beginning of the match and busted himself open. Badly. He was just pouring blood. They got him a towel. He started wiping off his eye. I think it was by his eye. It was pretty bad. He was trying to wipe off the blood, and then he threw the towel down when the fans started booing, and they just kept fighting. But eventually, the medical team came down not once, not twice, but 3 times during the match to try and close up the wound. And the fans were getting really pissed off about this. They were chanting, PG sucks, and then the second time they got really mad and started chanting fuck PG. And I apologize for saying that. I'm just repeating what the fans were saying because I'm reporting on the show. So I apologize to any kids watching this, although you were probably watching NXT, a good amount of you. The match continued. I want to say this. I know some people out there think it's a PG thing, but it is a safety thing in WWE to look out for the health and well-being of the performers, and that's why when somebody gets cut open the hard way, they want to take care of them before something escalates. So I do understand WWE's point of view, and it is a health issue rather than we need to get rid of the blood because it's a PG show. I know some people out there got upset about that. It did hurt the match though. When the medical guys came out 3 times, it really disrupted the momentum of the match. So that was the one big negative. Although it was unique. It was a unique situation that we haven't seen that often in WWE. So you can look at it either way, that it maybe hurt the match or maybe it made the match stand out more. I mean, depending on your preference. But once things got settled with the wound, the match really kicked into high gear. And in a surprise, we had Finn Balor retaining the title, which I was not expecting. I was expecting Joe to win the title here. You had Joe apply the Coquina clutch onto Balor, and then it was basically a repeat of what Bret Hart used to do to Steve Austin and Roddy Piper at WrestleMania 8. Finn Balor was in the hold, and what he did was he kicked his feet into the turnbuckle and used the momentum to reverse the submission into a pinfall, and that's how he beat Samoa Joe. So I like the fact that they did that homage to Bret Hart. I thought that was cool. Just surprised, though, that Samoa Joe lost the match. So what does that mean now? My guess is Samoa Joe is heading to the main roster now, and I guess they are going to keep Finn Balor in NXT for the time being, although most people were thinking that Balor would be the one going to the main roster and perhaps bringing in his partners Gallows and Carl Anderson with him to start up the Balor Club on the main roster. But maybe they're going to do it in NXT first, so I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Now, let's go over a few of the top stories, a few of the late-breaking developments heading into WrestleMania 32. I mentioned earlier the idea of Bayley coming in and challenging the winner at WrestleMania. It appears that WWE is going to be rebranding the Divas division and just making it the women's division. And apparently the new belt is going to look similar to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, but just different coloring and maybe a little bit smaller. So I definitely feel that is a step in the right direction. The other big news here, John Cena admitted that he has been cleared to wrestle again. There was speculation about it this week, but John Cena, during an interview, said that he has been medically cleared to go. He is ready to get back in the ring, and it's almost a sure thing that we will see him at WrestleMania, and we very well could see somebody getting the attitude adjustment. Who knows? Maybe Cena will show up in the Andre Battle Royal, the Dre, and win the whole thing. That's a possibility as well. Also, Triple H and Roman Reigns is now a no DQ match, no disqualification. There were several programs and banners that listed the match as being no DQ. So this was, I guess, a last-minute stipulation change, which does make sense if there's going to be outside interference and some sort of shenanigans in the main event. Interesting because it's similar to WrestleMania 17 when Austin and The Rock was changed to a no DQ match at the very last minute, and that got everybody wondering, what does that mean? So will history repeat itself? I think we can all get our hopes up on that, but anything's possible. The third piece of news, or the fourth piece of news here, the last one I want to cover real quick, is apparently there is a big stunt that is being planned for WrestleMania, and at this point it's not clear what match this stunt is going to be happening in, but most people are expecting it to be in the Shane McMahon Undertaker match. Now, does this mean Shane's going to be going off the top of the cell? I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I'm not expecting that to happen, but I think we will see something significant, some kind of big bump. I mean, after Raw, when Shane did the flying elbow off the top, I mean, that really raised the bar, and now fans are going to be expecting something bigger, something more spectacular. So I'm guessing we will see some kind of big spot in the Shane McMahon Undertaker match, and that definitely seems to be the likelihood that they will do something, and Shane will take some sort of crazy risk. So that'll wrap it up for this video. Let me know what you thought about NXT TakeOver. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the latest news. Tons of news out there right now, and I'm sure we'll have more to come this weekend. And enjoy the Hall of Fame. I will be covering it at twitter.com/NoDQ, DOTCOM, and NoDQ.com. And of course, I'll have full coverage of WWE WrestleMania. So stay tuned for all that, and I will see you guys next time.